What's up, beautiful people? I'm Erin, and this is Erin on Demand. And today we are talking about, I feel like this might be contrary to popular belief, but I've been saying this, y'all. You don't have to be everywhere all the time. And when I say that, I mean you do not have to be consistently present on every single social media platform at one time. I do know that most of us content creators are a one woman or one man band, meaning that we don't have full on content teams like a lot of these extremely big content creators or even companies that create a lot of content. And there is this pressure to feel like you have to join a new social media as soon as it is up and running so you can be the first one on there so you can grow faster and all of these things, and then you end up just stressed. You end up stressed and you're creatively fatigued because you don't really know where to channel your energy. So in this video, I hope you feel a lot less pressure. I feel like this video will bring a sigh of relief because you don't have to do that to be successful as a content creator. And I'm gonna tell you why. Now, there are a lot of experts, and pretty much every couple months, we're hearing about why you should be on Facebook more now because you're getting so many Facebook views instead of on Instagram, why you should be on TikTok, why you should be on Lemonade. Like, remember Lemonade? Why you should be on YouTube Shorts. And just all of these things, podcasting, LinkedIn, Twitter, like there are just so many platforms to choose from. And I feel like the main ones, well, I don't feel like the main ones are Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. Those have kind of, I feel like are coined as like the big three in social media. And of course, Facebook. I feel like Meta is just kind of thrown in there. But I will share my story on focusing on one platform at a time. So the first year I started my channel, my goal was to hit 50,000 subscribers in 1 year. And if you've been an OG, you already know this story. But 50,000 subscribers in 1 year. And I'm telling you, like, I did not care about Instagram. I did not care about Twitter. I did not care about, at the time, TikTok wasn't even a thing when I started my YouTube channel, which sounds insane, but it just wasn't. But I didn't care about any other platform. My only thought was I need to grow on YouTube. So I put blood, sweat, and tears, no blood, but sweat and tears into creating this channel. And about halfway through the year, I had hit probably around 15,000 subscribers by like June of that year. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to hit my goal. Like if I grow this many a month, I will hit my goal by the end of the year. So I started doubling up. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do 2 YouTube videos a week so that I can, increase the amount of views my channel is getting and therefore the amount of people it's reaching and, all of these things so I can grow faster essentially. So once I amped up the amount of times I was uploading a week, I saw a huge change in my numbers. Like it was insane. So I actually ended up hitting almost 100,000 subscribers by the end of my first year on YouTube. Crazy. Now, without even trying to hit numbers on Instagram, my Instagram automatically started to grow because people found me on YouTube. They were interested in my life in other social media platforms. So they started following me on Instagram. And I was like, oh my gosh, my Instagram is starting to grow. I'm not even trying to grow on here. And just by default, it started to grow because I was focusing so much on YouTube. So I say all that to say, you put 100% into one platform, by default, you're going to see your numbers grow on other platforms without even trying, honestly. So that's the first thing I want you to know is that you don't have to be, super engaged in the other platforms. The second thing is when you are so creatively inspired to create on one platform, you start to think of your content a little bit differently to where you're like, okay, I can put this on Instagram from this video. Like I can cross promote in this way. Like your creative juices begin to really flow and you don't necessarily worry about Instagram. You kind of give it the scraps, but even your scraps are good, right? Does that make sense? I feel like a lot of times when you're focused on Instagram, you're focused on YouTube, you're focused on TikTok, and you're trying to figure out your groove on each platform, you can never find it because you're so focused on trying that, and on so many platforms that you can never find your full groove with one. So remember, most people who watch your content are watching it on multiple platforms. For example, if your main platform is TikTok and you upload at least once a day onto TikTok, but you upload maybe once a week on Instagram, and you have 60% of your followers who follow you on both, those 60% of your followers are just looking at you like, dang, she's consistent. They're not thinking of compartmentalizing where they see you the most or where they saw you this day versus this day. They just know when they got on TikTok, they see you a lot. When they get on Instagram, they're still seeing you. So in their minds, you're present on multiple platforms. So think about the platform that you want to give the most attention to. Put most of your energy into that, and then give those other platforms the scraps, whether it's repurposing some of your content, whether it's, throwing up a few photos on Instagram just to kind of keep your presence on there alive. Not necessarily trying to strategize each one when you don't fully have a team to help you execute on those strategies. So the golden question is, well, Erin, which platforms should I focus on? Well, it's going to depend on a few things. Number one is, what is your goal? So if your goal is to create lots of short form videos, I always talk about, like, if you have a kid and you're in the carpool line and you're waiting during pickup and you have 15 to 20 minutes to record some content while you're in the car, that's the only time you really have, then that's going to dictate which platform you are on. I would say TikTok is probably going to be your best friend because that casual talking to a friend, FaceTime type of feel does super well on TikTok. So I would say that is your main platform. Whereas if you know that you want to create lots of educational content, you prefer more long form videos, then YouTube would be your main content, and you would repurpose some of those YouTube videos to put them in your other on your other platforms. Also, what is your capacity? So kind of like the example, if you know you have a small window of time, you likely will need to create more short form content, something that you can easily batch multiple videos, and you won't have to spend as much time on the production side of it where, you have to set up a camera and set up a mic and all of those things where you might want to do that for YouTube. And then also consider, what type of content am I best at creating? So what you have the capacity for versus what you're best at might be two different things. So just make sure that you are actually thinking about your own skill set. You might think you only have 20 minutes, but maybe you actually are better at vlogging. Maybe you're not that great at sitting in the carpool line and talking right to the camera. Even though that feels like your capacity, you're best at vlogging. So how can you kind of make those two work together? So think about your actual skill set, your capacity, and what your actual goal is. And just do not limit yourself to Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. There are so many other platforms that you can focus your energy on. You might love to talk and not really like to be on camera at all. Maybe you want to start a podcast, or you are an exceptional writer and you want to start a newsletter. I think Substack is an incredible platform. I have my newsletter hosted on Substack, and you can make lots of money off Substack. You can turn it into like a membership, like a subscription newsletter where people pay like $5 a month to read your exclusive content. You can upload podcasts to Substack. It is just such a cool platform to cultivate community around a newsletter or a podcast. So highly recommend thinking about other platforms. LinkedIn also, you can be a LinkedIn influencer and get so many content deals and brand deals with LinkedIn. So do not sleep on some of the platforms that aren't necessarily top of mind, but you have the capability of growing. So I hope this encourages you. Focus on one thing at a time. And this focus can shift. Maybe you want to focus on YouTube for a year and then you're like, okay, I've got my YouTube. I've, got that rolling. I feel like that's a well-oiled machine. Now I can start adding Instagram into the mix, start getting my presence on there up more now that I've got a good grip on YouTube. When you are a content creator, it's important to take steps. You don't have to just climb the whole staircase in one step. You need to gather your bearings on one platform, get a feel, understand the analytics, understand the type of content that thrives on that platform, the community you're forming, and then start adding other platforms to the mix once you've gotten your rhythm. This is the best way to grow as a content creator these days, even though you might feel like you got to be in all the places at all the times. All right, you guys, I hope this encourages you. Let me know if you're enjoying all of these social media videos. I am so excited to keep them rolling for you because this is the year. This is the year that we are all going to amp it up with the content, and I just cannot wait to go along this journey with you. All right, you guys, I hope you have a great one, and I will see you on the next one. Bye for now.